Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on when you are watching this video. But I hope you're doing well and staying healthy. Today, we're going to be discussing ETFs. All right. So, we're just going to break it down exactly what it is, what's good about it, and because in the investing world, there's a lot of investing terms that you have to kind of pick up, especially when you're brand new to it. It's kind of hard. Even when you're in the game for a while, you need a little bit of a refresher. So that's what this video is going to do for everybody today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If there's any other words or terminology that you want to learn more about, leave that in the comment section too, and I'll jump to it for you and make a video about it. All right, but ETF stands for Exchange Traded Funds. Okay, so it's similar to a stock. It is not a stock, but it's similar to a stock because you invest into it just like you would invest into a stock. Okay, and so ETF can hold stocks, it can hold commodities, it can hold bonds and some other stuff. So ETF is a group of multiple things that you can invest to at once. All right, so think about it as maybe you can look at it as 100 stocks that you can invest to all at once with one payment, and people like that because since you can do that, it's a really easy way to diversify your funds. If you ever hear that when you're investing, it's an important thing, right? If you have $5,000 and you put them all into one stock, right? All right, that stock might do well for you, but there's a chance that if that stock fails, you literally lose all of your money. Especially if you don't pull out in time, you lose all of your money. We don't want that. You want to diversify your investments. So if you can find an ETF with that stock into it, that has that stock in it, you can invest your money into that ETF. If that one stock goes down, you are still investing into maybe 300 other stocks at the same time, right? So that way, if one goes down, it does not affect you as much as if it was your only one. You may still make money if that stock goes down. That's why it's important to invest in ETFs. So that's why people like investing into ETFs. All right. So how about this? If you are already investing into ETFs, comment your favorite ETF below. All right. If you're looking into investing into ETFs, let me know which ones you're looking to invest into. Okay. Like I said, the bonus to ETFs is you don't have to put all your eggs into one basket. This means you can invest with less risk, right? We want our money to be safe. Less risk, we can invest into something. That's lovely. We got to do it. We want to do it. If you can multiply your money, if you can increase your money with lower risk, I think that's what we're into. That's why we're investing into safe stocks. That's why us long-term investors, if you are a long-term investor, that's why we invest into these things. But remember, this is an ETF. This is trades just like a stock. So if you buy it and it grows exponentially, and then you want to sell it at the end of a certain period, you do get that gap increase just like you would in a stock. You do get that as income. So something to think about. Another benefit to an ETF is that they typically have lower fees compared to like a mutual fund. So you can invest into a mutual fund or you can invest into an ETF. But if you invest into a mutual fund, they're going to have higher fees because people are actively managing those for you. But for the passive investor, the one who wants more money in their pocket, you may just invest into an ETF because they are passively managed, right? They're not managed as often as the mutual fund is. Since they're passively managed, your fees for them decrease. All right. So that's another thing. That means the lower fees means more money in your pocket. What's wrong with that? There are many types of ETFs too. So that means you can focus on specific sectors. If you just want to focus on energy, you can track the S&P 500 with ETFs. You can look into growth stocks. And my favorite, of course, you can do dividend stocks, even focus on high dividend stocks with ETFs to make it a safer investment for you and still get that dividend return. All right, so you can actually focus on what you want to and get diversified in there, okay? Speaking of dividends, it also, when you invest in ETFs, it automatically reinvests those dividends that you earn, All right. Again, when we talk about dividend investing, that's important for compounding. That's important to allowing your money to grow faster. That's what we like to do. Okay. We keep that in mind. Of course, like to everything that you do, everything that you learn about, whatever the case, whether it's an investing world in the real world, there's typically a downside to everything. What are the cons to ETFs? Okay. So one of the cons is the cost can be and typically is higher than a regular stock. Okay. So that means you can probably say an ETF has a list of stocks that you can invest into. So you know what you're investing to it. So you can invest into Nike, Apple, Microsoft, all of that at once. You could probably save money just by going to those stocks and purchasing those individually instead of doing the ETF, right? So you can save money that way. But then again, do you really want to invest in 250 different stocks and then try to manage them individually and keep up with all of them? That's a nice thing about ETF. Somebody will do that for you, and you don't have to worry about learning or keeping up with 250 stocks at the exact same time. Okay, so yes, that is a downside because it is a little bit more cost to it. But for the passive investor like myself, the one who doesn't want to spend all day doing it, I want to throw my money in and then see the fruits of my labor later, right? So that's something to think about there too. Now, another con for my dividend investors is that the dividend yields could be lower. All right. If you invest into a dividend ETF, the dividend yields could be lower than a dividend stock, right? So if you wanted to, there's stocks out there, you can have a 7% dividend yield, okay? But you can, in your dividend ETFs typically will not be that high, right? They might be around 3, 4, maybe 5%. So you can get more money from your dividends if you invest into one stock and get a higher dividend percentage, the higher dividend yield, I mean. So again though, would you want to put all your eggs in one basket or in a few baskets? You're a lot safer, less risk if you invest in the dividend ETFs. Dividend yield, yes, might be lower, but if one of your businesses go down, you won't be affected as much. So let's take that into consideration as well. So at the end of the day, me personally, most of my investments are ETFs because I'm a long-term passive investor. I'm a long-term investor who wants to make sure I have low risk as I'm investing to get my dividend income and make sure I'm safe for the future, right? So I invest in ETF. That's my main investments. I do a majority ETFs, a little bit of bonds, and then a little bit of individual stocks. But majority of my investments are into ETFs and of course dividend ETFs. Okay. ETFs are great for building portfolios, great for rounding out your portfolios. Okay, especially when you're looking at a program such as M1 Finance, you put that ETF in there, have fun, play with your individual stocks so you don't have to keep up with too many, but you can invest into a lot of those stocks in that ETF as part of your pie. But it helps you can get into specific sectors. Maybe you are really big into technology, but you're not sure about energy. You're not sure about consumers. You can get an ETF specifically for those, but you know what technology stocks you want to do, so you can jump into that. You can really customize and build your portfolio around or finish off a portfolio and make it really strong by using ETFs to balance it out or to add to it. So tell me, are you sold on ETFs? What do you think about them? Are you in? Are you out? Would you rather manage your own stocks? Do you have the time to do that? If you do, man, great. If you don't, ETFs are a great way to go. Tell me what you think. At the end of the day, what route are you going when you're investing? All right, especially for the long-term investors. What do you think about ETFs? Well, appreciate your time today. Thanks for making it this far in the video. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and remember, focus pays dividends.